Hey folks, Randy Go, Trout Magnet Man with you here today. We're going to talk a little bit about cleaning and storing JDM ultralight fishing rods. Now, when I come in from fishing, I will take these rods apart. I will have a cloth that's wet on one end and dry on the other. I take the cloth, I wipe the rod down. On the stripper guide, I can use my finger to put in there and clean out that guide. And then, if it's really wet, I'll take the other end that's not wet, dry it off. I do the same thing with the second section, the exact same thing. I'll run it the whole length of it. That's good. Then I'll take a Q-tip. Wet Q-tip, I'll clean the inside of the guides, around the guides. I do it all the way to the top. You just have to be careful. If you're careful, you're not going to break anything. And also, from time to time, I will take a detailing brush and just to brush in case there's anything up under the guide frames. Just do it gently. You don't have to do it hard. That'll take care of any dust. And the reason I do that is I'm sure all of you have been fishing when the waters are not so clean and you get the scum and the scum gets on the line. And that transfers to your guides, and pretty soon you got a coating on your guides. And I do this every time I go home, or every time I go fishing and come back home. I do it every single time. That may seem like overkill, but that's just what I do. It's just, to me, it's just part of fishing. Now, when I'm fishing on the bank, let's say I'm going down to the bridge down in Nickajack to catch all those crappie. When I get in the car, this rod will be in its pouch. I keep them in the pouch. When I get down there, I will take the rod out of the pouch and I'll put the rod in this hard case. I can also put the reel in the hard case too. And so I zip it up and I head down underneath the bridge with the rod in the hard case. And when I get to my spot that I'm going to fish, and only when I get to my spot I'm going to fish, I take the rod out of the hard case, I put the rod together, I put the reel on it, I thread the line through the guides, tie on a jig head and start fishing. When I leave that bank spot, now obviously if I'm going to go walk over here 2 feet and fish or walk over here 3 feet and fish, I don't take the rod apart. But if it's time for me to move, say, to the other side of the creek, or time for me to go back to the car, this rod comes apart, it goes back in the hard case, the reel goes in there, and I'm subject to just leave it in there until I get home if that's the last place I'm going. If I'm going to another spot where I got to drive somewhere, then obviously I take it out and start the whole process over again. Then when I get home, I go through the procedure I showed you of cleaning the rods. It goes back in its pouch. It goes up on the shelf with the other rods, and it stays there until the next day. Now, these rods do not belong in a rod locker as one piece. In other words, when you put it together, you don't want to be putting them in a rod locker. You're just asking for trouble. I broke 2 in there, and that's what educated me, and that's why I bought this pouch. And if I want to take a spare rod with me in the boat, what I will do is I will put whatever rod that may be, put it in here. If I want a spare reel, I'll put the reel in here, I zip it up, and then I put this in the rod locker. This is a hard case. You're not going to damage it. I put that in the rod locker, and if I want to switch out rods, or if something happens to this rod, or God forbid I break it, I got a spare rod, but it's travel safe and it's going to travel back home safe. I will leave a link for those of you who may be interested. You can buy these kind of hard cases everywhere. I got these off Amazon. I think when I bought them, I think they were $35. I think they're up to about $40 now. And yeah, it's a lot of money, but there's a lot of money laying right here too. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So anyway, that's just a little tip on maintaining the ultralight rods. And really, you should do this with any ultralight rod that's you know, well, any, just tell you the truth. But especially if, you know, I mean, if you've spent 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks on it, it's worth your while to maintain it. So anyway, hope all of you are out fishing, that are able to fish. Hope you're having a good time. I hope you're catching fish. Soil up them all, and life is good.